Good morning. I think it is still morning. How are you all? Very well, thank you. You know, when Waceke mentions 15 years, when I'm sitting there, I'm seeing all these people. I'm seeing professional camera crew. I'm seeing my team all over the place. My friends today are WhatsApping me and telling me, "Oh, you have an open day today." I'm like, whose business is this? And that's when you've done something for 15 years, when you now look backwards, and I think all of us have to get into that habit of sometimes looking backwards, because we are so concerned with what is ahead, and sometimes what is ahead is always pointing to what we have not yet done. We never appreciate where we've come from. So this story of Centonomy over 15 years is something I'm taking time to take stock and talk about. And today I was asked to talk through that story, through the Centonomy story, but more importantly, what have been the lessons for me when it comes to finishing strong. And some of them are not what you expect, because I'm going to make them quite personal. And these lessons for me are going to come from whether it's teaching Centonomy, whether through 15 years also personal life happened, correct? Personal life happens to everybody. And just the experience of running a business, the money journey in that. But for me, and I want you to start, we're going to start talking about the Centonomy story. So please follow Centonomy after this. We're going to start doing videos, podcasts, and a lot of things to tell people how did 15 years happen. Because I think I'm finally allowing myself to be an African business, 15 years, women-led enterprise, in the same up and down economy. Is that something to celebrate? With the impact that it has had, yeah? I think I'm finally allowing myself to celebrate. But Centonomy, you may not be running a business. That's not what I want you to take away from this. It could be your personal life. But I believe everybody has something. And I think are you brave enough to take that seed, plant it, water it, fertilize it? And this is what happens to a seed. It starts becoming a tree. But sometimes you use the wrong fertilizer and the fruit falls. Sometimes it's cold weather, the leaves are not nice. You know how some trees, the flowers all go away in certain seasons, yeah? But that's the thing with a tree from a seed. The tree continues to be a tree. Because what we did at Centonomy, or we tried to do at Centonomy, is change what your mind is telling you about yourself. What does your mind tell you about yourself?
Check. Yep. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Waceke Nduati. This thing between my ears. So when I look at my most ambitious goals, the first response of my mind is it doesn't paint a very clear roadmap. So yeah, it's negative.
Okay, I'm coming to that. Thank you.
Someone else?
One more.
Yep.
Is that familiar to everybody? You have dreams, correct? Me telling you here to set a goal, I'm not telling you anything new, but things that block us, like what he's saying, I don't know the way, so I'm less like, whatever, yeah? Uh-huh.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mary Immaculate, and what my mind tells me is that I can do it because that's what everyone tells you. But at the same time, there's a sense of imposter. What do I have to offer? What really do I have to tell people that they don't know? Yeah.
Okay. It is not about what you have or what you can do today. And this is what I mean. Have you limited yourself? What have you limited yourself by? So we've got to say, if that's the opportunity, and it's not just about picking a vision from the sky or a dream for the sky. I firmly believe every one of us has that thing that we are very convicted about, or a path that we are meant to follow. And when you think big, it starts to change something. What do you think it changes? Your mindset. It starts to change you simply because you have started the journey. Because the purpose of a goal is not just the result you will get. The purpose of a goal is because your character changes. So at some point, my goal was being on a platform like this, talking to 200 people. So guess what? I was the dreamer that one day I would be on a platform. That's the dreamer. Guess what I did? I created the platform. Yeah, so we've got to move from dreamer to be the one who actualizes it. And this is the annoying thing about vision, you keep seeing it. So it's never quite a finished story. So today's circumstance is today's circumstance, but you will not get out of it by thinking about today's circumstance. You have to think of something that is bigger than today's circumstance because it provides the energy and the driving force to be able to get out of that. Are we together? So think big. Have a yes policy to life. An opportunity comes, just say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Opportunities for Centonomy came to expand. I remember the first time I was asked, can you teach people in Eldoret, Meru, and Nairobi at the same time? Because we have 3 groups. I just said yes. Once I said yes, you figure it out. So do this to yourself. Say yes, then go home and get on your knees and say, God, imagine what I did. Help me. Grab the moment. Not everything is going to be planned out. Sometimes moments just come. There's a course I took, and when I was doing that course, they gave us an assignment overnight. But when I realized that assignment, I could turn it around to leverage myself. Yes, I'll do the assignment. I was a student, but I could also turn the assignment around to leverage what Centonomy does and get training work out of it. So in the morning, I woke up at midnight, changed my presentation, and in the morning, I did part of the assignment, but spent most of the presentation time pitching how Centonomy or I could come in and teach their program in this particular area better. Till today, I'm a teacher in their program. And every so often, it's a nice program. They fly me to Boston to do it. Yeah? So, but I was scared. I was so scared. But I was like, I'm grabbing this moment. And we are so scared of looking foolish and rejection that we don't take moments. So a lot of us, why we will not finish strong or why we will not start in the first place is because of this animal called fear. That is what is stopping you. Today, if you're like, yes, I should sign up for Centonomy, but it is not money, it is fear. It is not time, it is fear. So you've got to understand fear as a relationship. Nothing will make it go away but you. There is nothing, absolutely nothing outside of yourself that is going to sort out fear. Nothing. Not even $1 billion shillings is going to sort out that fear. In fact, it will make you more fearful. Because then that's why people who have $1 billion want 5 billion. Yeah? It will make you more fearful. So fear, you have to understand it. It's like a thief that has come into your house. And you keep indulging that thief by shrinking. Oh, thief, you want this? Okay. Oh, you want to sit in the sitting room? Then I'll go sit in the store. Yeah, that's how we're indulging fear. It's like you're driving a car, but fear is with you. Then you're like, oh, fear, you're here. Because you're here, in fact, let me not drive the car. Or let me jump to the back seat. You take over. But we've got to become masters of the fear. It's not that you will not feel afraid. You will feel afraid. So, guess what you are most scared of, though? You're not scared of rejection from people. You're not scared of failure. You are scared of what you will tell yourself if you fail. Do you understand? You're actually scared of yourself. When other people reject you, because life is like that, not everybody accepts you. You will face rejection and failure and all that. You are actually scared of what happens here. When you are sleeping at night, what happens with yourself? And when I started understanding who I am really scared of is between these 2 years. Myself, what I will think about myself, you start learning to deal with yourself. Because fear is useless. Let me tell you why. Most of the things you are scared about are never going to happen. They are not. Then some things you have not even begun to anticipate are going to come your way. So what's the point? What's the point? So you will feel it. So yes, you have a dream, but you don't have the roadmap. And that's the way things go. This is what you call go with the flow. If 15 years ago, I had imagined Centonomy, if I was given the complete vision of what Centonomy would be 15 years from now, I probably would never have started it. You know why? I'd be telling God, you knocked on the wrong door. Me, who's broke? Never. Ati me, address over 1,000 people? Never. Ati I will have impacted over 1 million people? Never. Ati we are training across Africa? Never. Never. That is why you're not given the whole roadmap immediately, because you have to enter the bus. And when you enter the bus, you start seeing, oh, I'm in the bus. Then I can go like this. Okay, we're going this direction. There's a diversion. But you never get anywhere without entering the bus. You want to take the train to Mombasa, you have to enter the train. Nobody got to Mombasa by standing at the SGR, at SGR. Nobody. Please tell me you got to Mombasa and said, I'm at SGR. And magically, I'm in Mombasa. So enter the bus. With your fear, tell fear, I know you're with me. I even have a headache, but we're entering the bus. Enter the bus, yeah? Your ability to lose dictates your ability to grow. If you cannot take risk, you cannot grow. I know Waceke has talked about money and risk, and we'll go into that, but your ability to lose, sometimes you will lose certain friendships. Sometimes you will lose time. When I started Centonomy, because of Saturdays, I lost social functions, so many things I did not go for between Friday night and Saturday, because if I'm teaching on Saturday morning, I can't be out on Friday. So any relationships that were anchored in being out, I lost them. Yeah? So you will lose something. So when you look at your goals, also ask yourself, it's great to dream. What is the price you are willing to pay? I've paid the price of time. I've paid the price of certain relationships. I've paid the price of facing rejection, failure, not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. You will start saying no to certain things, and you will let go of certain things. But as you do that, you get more confidence in yourself that you are worth taking this journey. For me, it has showed up in so many ways, even how I decide to use my time. These days, even the kind of work I will do, even where I will appear. And it's not anything but saying, no, this is my value, or the conditions that you have. Even for you, what have you defined your value? Because as you don't ever expect anybody to define it for you. Your employer cannot. There's no employer that can pay you enough money to define your value. So what's your value? Your salary can be 100,000 shillings, but you can decide you're going to earn 300,000 shillings per month. Who said it all has to come from your salary at work? If your value is that, let it be. So that salary doesn't become your value. Yes, that is what that organization or that career can pay you. That's very different from your value. Are we together? Just look at yourself, your skills, your experience, your potential, and say, yes, that's where I earn from my employment. But actually, I'm going to earn 300,000 because me as a person, that's my value. And start going after those opportunities. They're not in your current job, they're elsewhere. Or even work, you have a job that can create those opportunities because it's giving you a skill that you can use on Saturday for something to bring you to that place. So don't let anybody take control of defining your value. If you're in business, not a client. If this is your price, let that be your price and be willing to stand up for your price. If the value is how you're going to spend your time, that's how you spend your time. Have a separate financial identity. That's your employer's financial identity. That's what they can pay you. That's not your financial identity. And it's so important everybody has a separate financial identity because you came here as an individual. Do you know there are some aspirations and goals that you will have that nobody else will ever have? So you cannot leave it up to your family, not even your spouse, to be in total agreement with you about that. Are we together? You have to have a separate financial identity. And this message I want to give very strongly, especially to women who play so many roles that their identities are mixed and that in some ways they completely lose yourself. Put some money aside that is for your aspirations. That course you want to take, that trip you want to take, that charity you want to give to, because there are some things that completely come with you. And as I wind up, I want to encourage all of you to treat your life, your money, your time extremely intentionally. Even me, I've not gotten it perfect all the way, but wealth is never created in disorder. It is never created in disorder. Your money, let me just say, your money must have a job description. It must have a job description. So today, money is your employee. What have you told it to do? Is it just come in and go out? Come in and go out, come in and go out. What have you told your time? What should your time achieve for you? So I want you after this to go and have a meeting with self and become very intentional. What does joy mean for you? What does fun mean for you? What do you really want? Yeah, so that you can give money a job description. I am a firm believer when I talked about thinking ahead. Today, if you're earning that 100,000 shillings, but in 3 years you want to be earning 500,000 shillings, the work must start today. Because it's not the result that, just aiming for the result. It's about what changes about you. Do you use your time differently? Do you learn differently? Do you spend time with different people? Do you have conversations with different people? Or are you still having the poverty group conversation and hoping to earn 5 times as much in 3 years? That can't happen. The poverty group discussion of how bad things are. Yeah, that's what we call the poverty support group. So ditch the poverty support group, yeah? So you've got to become very intentional. My business I'm doing here, my health I'm doing this, etc. And bring order to it. So when Waceke is talking about your budgeting, your planning, your goals, that's about, great, you have dreams, but there has to be order and intention. When you come to Centonomy and learn what should go into shares, what should go into bonds, how do they work, there has to be intention. In my book, Making Sense, I've written, money is a tool for your life, but in itself, it's not the life. So you have to define the life. You are not just one person. And for me as Waceke, what starting Centonomy and watching it evolve has taught me is that you are never one person. You start out as this person, but you have to start. You don't get, I would not be even just experiencing myself the way I'm experiencing myself, or being able to talk to you the way I'm talking to you now, if I had not started. But I started one person, just one. Let me help you with your budget. You, me, sit down. It became Centonomy 101 because I then evolved, because I saw that I had to think bigger. There were more people who needed this help. So what was the framework? If I had not thought bigger, this model that Centonomy runs on would not have come. I had to think, one person, I can do me. But now that 40 people will be in a room, I have to get help. I have to get other resources. And don't try and do your goals by yourself. Don't try and limit your ambitions to what you personally can do. There's no gold star for doing things alone. By the way, there's nothing like that. Yeah? So when you have a bigger dream, imagine whether it's I'm going to own property, whether I'm going to buy a house, whether it's the car of my dreams. Let me tell you, it's some sort of way it will involve other people. Other people will come with information. Other people will come with resources. Somebody will bring something to your table. Just like you are part of the ecosystem of bringing things to somebody else's table. Yeah? So don't limit to, I want just to, people, we limit ourselves to just ourselves because you want, if I fail, nobody knows about it. Sindio. That's why we want to do things alone. So it evolved. Now it had to be Centonomy 101. As we were doing that, and this is the thing about entering the bus, sometimes even if all the way is not clear, we're like, we have people in class who are in business. We need an entrepreneurship program. We started that. Or banks, training. So things, let me tell you, I can't emphasize this enough. Things happen when you are inside the bus. And as for finishing, you get to places where when you look back, you realized, it happened. But you're so busy chasing the next thing that you don't realize. But please understand, you are never a finished story. As long as you have breath in you, there is something you are going to do and going to aspire to do. And there's nothing truly like failure. There's experimentation. Some things work, they don't work. But when you look at the entire journey, it was a teacher. It was school fees you had to pay. Correct? That was simply a lesson you had to go through. Then classes led to a book. I didn't start out wanting to be an author, but I remember in 2019, I wrote in my journal, you will write a book. I don't know why. In 2009, the same year I was starting Centonomy. Yeah? I had not even spoken to one person about anything I wrote, you will write a book. And I called it Sensibility. The book is called Making Sense. But because I wrote it down, something bothered me. I started writing articles in the paper, and eventually it became a book. Yeah, now I do a podcast. And please, if you do want to listen to me on podcast, please look for the Making Sense Conversations on podcast, Spotify, Apple, and all these other platforms. So I hope, this is just a fraction of my journey, because otherwise I'll be talking for 3 hours and Waceke is already looking at me badly, yeah? I hope my journey has been some. Have you taken even one thing? Yeah? And just remember, there was no money involved. Nobody gave me money to start Centonomy. Till now, nobody has actually given me money. Yeah? So it was not about money. It was not about having resources. Nobody gave me money. So I'm one of those business stories that, no, we did not raise money. But it was the commitment, it was the conviction, it was looking for people and just really, really trusting and seeing the hand of God in the favor He has given me and the work that He has called me to do. So follow that, follow purpose, follow calling, follow vision, get help, solve other people's problems. Enjoy money. Money comes, money goes. My biggest money lessons have been when I didn't have money and when I had money. They all led to the same thing. I am somebody without the money. So we've got to, even with money, put it into perspective and really ask how much is enough. Calculations that you will do in class, because it's more about the values in your life that you want, and money can be a tool for that and the impact. So go after the big things, not just money. Go after that. Impact, community, vision, fun, family. Go after those big things. Fulfillment, you progressing as an individual. Go after that. And when you're in the right path, money will actually follow. And it's never that serious, by the way. It looks serious when you're going through stuff in the moment, but when I look back, it's never that serious. And even when you're stuck, ask yourself, what's the next? The next. Not the one 10 years later. What's today's step? What's the next best step? If it's to read something, do that. If it's to make a call, do that. If it's to ask a question, do that. If it's to ask a class, do that. What's the next best step? So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether it's about your money, I hope Centonomy can also be your next best step. And we look forward to sharing with you what we've continued to learn and have learned over the 15 years. Thank you very much.
Waceke, just wait there. This is Miriam online. And Miriam says, entering the bus of Centonomy fearfully today. I have been postponing to join the class, but I'm going to do it now, even if I don't know how I'm going to figure it. I'm going to figure it out.
Excellent.
There was a mention here. I thought I'd just let you know. Someone was asking, this is George Marari online, and then we'll take one question here so you can prepare yourself here in the room. He's saying, do you think that relationships and partners in marriage affect one's perspective towards money? Is that something that they do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you get married to someone, they will affect your perspectives about money. And what I have learned, both from myself, from working with other people, it's that understanding there are things we will do together, but let's not forget we are also individuals. Yeah? So I think a lot of the problem comes when we also forget we are individuals that have, remember I kept everybody, when you are born, you are not born with your spouse. Yeah? We are not, here is little baby Joe and Jane together. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So the things you'll do together, make a plan for it. Very powerful. Have money meetings as a couple to say what is working, what is not working, What do we have to change? What circumstances have to change? Yeah. So have that, have goals for that, set structure for that. This is how we save for that. But then also allow each other to say, these are my personal ambitions. Yeah. Is it everything? If I come home with a new pair of shoes, is that going to be a problem? You see? And be crystal clear. So you will affect each other, but I know people keep saying this, but you cannot over-communicate with each other about money. You cannot. And there's no getting it right the first time. Communicate, have the meeting again, and again. The worst thing is to stop talking about money.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we had to add a session on money and relationships. It's one of the bonus classes in the Centonomy 101 class. So it's not just your spouse, even your relatives.
Yeah.
Everyone has a plan for your money. So we try and take care of that. We do. Even us, we have a plan. Anyway.
But Waceke, can I just add to that, to the
Please.
young ones who are not yet married? Just understand, because that person will affect and come into your money life. Be clear. Who are you marrying? What are their financial beliefs? Where are they coming from? How does it clash with your beliefs? And is this going to be a problem? Yeah? Yeah.
No, that's right. And I just want to clarify something that we need to celebrate even here at Centonomy. One question from the house before we go. There you go. You're fastest, and so you get that.
Thank you so much for this session. My name is Mercy Otieno. So I have a question. In the current society, we tend to view money as a tool that gives us voice. As per your session, I got to understand that when you're starting this forum, you are very broke. So when you got to people and talked to them, and I know there are different calibers of people, maybe there were wealthier people during that time, did you face intimidation? And if yes, how did you handle it?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I faced intimidation externally and internally. The bigger one was internal. So, no, they were not, many of my clients I used to see, and that time was one-on-one. Some of them had big portfolios, but I was more intimidated internally because I was expecting myself, I should have at least, if you want me to advise you and you're telling me where do I invest 10 million, see, at least I should have had even me 100,000 shillings somewhere. So I was more intimidated by internally, the voice internally that was disturbing me. How did I handle it? I just kept it moving. Sometimes my voice was shaking, sometimes but you know, the end of the day, if you know how to do something well, it always outshines everything else. So I focused on delivering the information, the content to the best of my ability. When I was quite young when I was starting this business, so I did face intimidation from others sometimes, thinking I'm too young to get the job. Sometimes I faced intimidation because of being a woman. Sometimes I have rocked up and people say, oh, are you with Mr. Nduati? See, my name is Waceke Nduati. Then they were expecting a Mr. Nduati, yeah? And again, the same thing. I learned not to take things personally and to engage in where your beliefs are coming from, but to just start doing what I do. So just do what you do and position yourself properly. Do it to the best of your ability. That's my advice. Yeah.